Today I'm going to show you the basics of foundation application. There are multiple ways you can apply foundation and multiple tools that you can use to apply foundation. This is a dual fiber brush. I don't actually use this one as much for foundation anymore. I mostly use for blushes and contour. This one is a flat foundation brush. This is one of the original traditional brushes. Next is a kabuki brush. This is a flat, dense brush, and I find it buffs the foundation really nicely on the skin. The next one, it's an angled fluffy brush. I really love these fluffy brushes for foundations because you can buff the product into the skin really naturally. And then we have the famous beauty blender. Before I apply the foundation, I'm gonna use the MAC Fix Plus and I'm gonna damp my sponge with that. The beauty blenders work really nicely on the skin, but they need to be damp to work well. I prefer to either use a Fix Plus or a hydrating mix. And for oily skin, I actually use a setting spray because that helps the foundation stick to the skin and last much longer. So I place the foundation on my palette and now I am just gonna start dabbing the foundation on the skin very lightly. And I'm placing this on the skin really gently. And you see the movement I'm doing as well. I'm doing kind of like a rolling movement. This is to make sure I am actually covering every single bit of the skin. And you always start with a very small amount of the product and you start building up the coverage as you need. Just be gentle with your application. Also pay attention on how we actually always start applying the foundation from the center of the face, because we tend to have more blemishes around the nose area than the cheek area. That's why we mostly want to be focusing on the center of the face. You're going to be depositing the largest amount of product here in the center of the face, and just use the leftovers that you have on your brush or on your sponge, and then you're going to start dragging that all the way out to the hairline, because again we tend to have more blemishes in the center of the face. That's why you want to deposit the highest amount of product there. But just be very gentle to start with and add more product as you need, if you need to build coverage in certain areas. My model has freckles, so I really want those freckles to come through the foundation. I just want her to have that really healthy, natural looking skin. Now I'm going to go to the other side and use my favorite brush. So this is a fluffy angled brush. And you can see the amount of product I'm actually using here. It's very small amount on the brush. I just start applying from the center of the face outwards. Exactly the same thing that I've done on the other side. So we can start buffing the product in with a very small amount of product. And you can see here on the back of my hand how much product I'm actually using. I just grab a tiny little bit and then I start applying. Again, just keep going back and forwards and apply more product as you need, but it's always safer to start with a small amount of product. She doesn't need a lot of coverage. She has a beautiful skin. And I just want the foundation for a daily basis, something really nice and simple. So again, we're gonna start building up the coverage as we need. I don't want the makeup looking cakey, I don't want the makeup looking fake. I just want that to look like herself, but with better skin. And again, I still wanna see her freckles. And you can see how the freckles is still coming through the foundation because it all comes down to quantity of product and application as well. If we need, we're just going to add a little bit more coverage if we need to focus on certain problem areas. And we just need to make sure that you're blending that foundation into the skin really well, so it does look natural. This is something a lot of people forget. You need to bring the foundation all the way down your neck, because you need to make sure the neck, the chest, and the face all look the same color. Now you can see both sides of the face, how the application looks, one using a brush, one using a beauty blender, and you can get a flawless finish with both applications.